say, Towanda, it's over for you, Towanda. You should have never did what you did to Tamar Braxton. You are wrong, Towanda. That's what you get, Towanda, trying to get Tamar in jail. Now they saying she going to prison, honey. Woo! How y'all doing? What's going on? Honey! Hey! 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 Karma coming to spin the block, baby. Karma came to spin the block. I said, Karma came to spin the block. Honey, I got a video. I don't know if it's true or not, but girl, it made me feel good. It made me feel good. It made me feel good. Clap my hands, stomp my feet, doing everything that you do to me. All right, so this video said Towanda is in jail, honey. I believe it when I see it. But we need to watch this video. They know something that we don't, okay? This is Jessica Kohinoor Hot Topics. So let's see what they saying out here in these streets, y'all. Okay, Towanda's in jail. I believe it when I see it. I believe it when I see it. She need to be in jail. But all that thieving. Let's hear what they gotta say. Let me play this. Check this out.
It's about to be cut off because I took my credit card off because I found out that Towanda has been using my credit card to pay her phone bill.
My phone bill?
It's official. Towanda Braxton's name just hit the Fed's radar. Sources close to the FBI's Atlanta field office claim Towanda's recent bankruptcy case wasn't just financial mismanagement.
Okay, so she's not in jail, but she has hit the feds. The feds are on to you, Towanda. So she ain't in jail, but the feds are on to you. They got her name in the records. They looking at her. Honey, they building a case on Towanda. And then, boom, just like they did Diddy. You know how Diddy, it took them a while, right, to really get him because they was building a case. So, honey, she going down. They building a case. Let's go.
Financial mismanagement. It's being treated as potential bankruptcy fraud after new documents surface linking unreported income and property transfers. I remember scrolling through social media platforms when that leak first dropped. Everyone was tagging Tamar Braxton, asking if she was the one who tipped the feds off. And honestly, the timing looked way too convenient. A fan put it perfectly while displaying them receipts. Y'all stop thinking Tamar Braxton is crazy. Her sister Towanda listed her as a creditor. That was a gift lie. That one post blew up overnight. By morning, the feds were already reviewing the 2019 Chapter 7 filings, in which Towanda listed Tamar as owing $35,000, a loan Towanda insists was a gift. But now investigators say that a single line on a bankruptcy form could qualify as a false declaration, which is a federal offense under Section 18 U.S.C. 152. Now here's where it gets wild. The warrant wasn't just about her bank account. Insiders claim Towanda's Georgia property transfer to her husband's name might have been a move to hide assets from the trustee, the same home Tamar allegedly paid a down payment on, something she reminded Towanda about on camera. And get this, during one old Braxton Family Values taping, Tamar straight up said, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment."
Well, you live because I put down your down payment.
You sure did. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for the gift.
Give me my money back. That was not a
Promise
gift.
to God. Yes, it was. But it's
No, you
okay.
didn't.
Fans now think that line wasn't just sister shade, it was evidence. Because right after that aired, the FBI allegedly subpoenaed credit line records linked to that very address. According to our inside sources following the case, that's how the alleged phone bill fraud came to light. One fan summed it up best. Towanda so nasty, paying 6 phone lines for 12 months for 4 years, and a $35,000 in a home loan? Girl, I'd never speak to you again. At first I thought folks were just being messy, but when you realize the FBI's case actually references long-term recurring phone service charges listed under Tamar's name, it starts to click. What looked like a family squabble might have been a paper trail of fraud. And what's chilling is, this ain't even Towanda's first brush with the law. If you dig through her past, she was arrested back in 2005 for forgery and theft by receiving in Atlanta. That old charge quietly vanished, but the FBI apparently didn't forget. Now the question that's tearing the fandom apart. Did Tamar actually report her own sister? Because somebody had to hand over those 2019 bank statements, and the feds don't move without receipts. And when you see Tamar's name trending again beside FBI witness, you start wondering if this was sibling revenge or self-protection. But before jumping to conclusions, there's more to unpack, especially how Towanda allegedly dragged Tamar and even Tony into her money mess without their consent. Right after Tawanda's arrest hit the blogs, the streets started whispering one name: Tamar Braxton. It wasn't random gossip either. People noticed how the timeline lined up a little too perfectly. Just days before the federal audit allegedly hit Tawanda's file, Tamar had posted a string of now-deleted cryptic tweets that fans now say sounded like she was fed up with her sister's lies. Remember back in 2019, TMZ confirmed that Towanda owed Tamar $35,000, which she called a personal loan, while Towanda claimed it was a gift. That single discrepancy has now become the core of the FBI's fraud case. Because if you list a family loan as a gift or misstate your liabilities, that's a false declaration under bankruptcy law. But the part that's making fans wild out is this: Tamar allegedly provided proof of payment transfers when questioned by investigators. According to an insider close to the Braxton camp, Tamar's attorneys confirmed she had financial correspondence showing that the money was wired to Tawanda's escrow account for a home down payment. Remember when Tamar snapped on camera saying, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment"? That wasn't just petty reality TV energy. Turns out that line might have been literal evidence. And this could explain why Towanda allegedly transferred her Georgia house into her husband's name soon after the bankruptcy filing. Because y'all know the feds don't play when you start moving assets mid-case. That's how they bag people under the concealment of property clause. But what really seemed off was the resurfaced clip from Braxton Family Values, showing Tamar confronting Towanda about a cease and desist letter she never received. Tamar told her point blank, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment. You've been stealing from me for years." And Towanda shot back, "Girl, you stole Tony's man. Don't even start with me."
What you steal?
And help
But
me.
what you steal?
I don't steal anything.
You don't?
What I stole?
You sold men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's.
That line changed everything. Because after that episode aired, fans began connecting old rumors about Tamar sleeping with Tony's ex-husband, Carrie Lewis, and even Jermaine Dupri's father, Michael Malden. And suddenly, the Braxton sister drama wasn't just about debt. It became about betrayal, both financial and emotional. Yup, the same reality TV receipts that once made the family famous might now be used as federal evidence. One insider alleges that Tamar's team wasn't the one that reported her sister directly, but they did cooperate fully when questioned, giving over all the receipts the FBI asked for. Still, social media ain't buying the innocent witness narrative. A fan tweeted, "Tamar is not perfect by far, but Towanda telling Tony to call the police and press charges is a little extreme." Even Tamar revealed point blank, the Braxtons only come together when the cameras roll. Off camera, it's war.
I'm not supposed to say anything. The only thing that brings us together is the cameras.
It's wild how real life and reality TV started blending into one big investigation. Every old episode, every on-air argument, every sarcastic "that was a gift" line now looks like a potential breadcrumb in a fraud case. But the thing that really made this situation feel dark wasn't the money. It was how deep the betrayal cut. Tamar might have cooperated with the feds, but fans think she did it to protect her own name before she got dragged into the same legal fire. By the time the news of Tawanda's arrest hit every gossip site, one old rumor resurfaced that changed everything. The one about her stealing her own mother's SSI check. That came straight from Tony Braxton's former assistant Zoe, who exposed it on his podcast back in 2020. He claimed Towanda once stole Evelyn's social security check and even called her evil for it. When you can steal SSI checks, I don't know what to say to a person when you're that thirsty, that evil. And that's not all. Reports confirmed Towanda was arrested in 2005 for forgery and theft by receiving in Atlanta, which now makes this new FBI probe look less like a misunderstanding and more like a pattern. If you've been watching Braxton Family Values since the early seasons, you already know their money problems were always in the background. But this time, the fallout is deeper than a sister fight. Because when you mix federal fraud charges with decades of family mistrust, the whole Braxton legacy starts crumbling from the inside. Even Tony, who's usually the peacemaker, recently made headlines after that viral clip where she canceled on Tawanda's event over the phone.
I can't wait to see it.
See there. That's what I was calling you.
That made me very sad.
I know.
Fans said that moment wasn't about scheduling, it was about distance. Tony's been publicly backing away, possibly to protect her own name and finances from whatever's coming down on Towanda. And honestly, who could blame her? When your family's being probed by the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit, the last thing you want is your own accounts dragged into discovery. But the part that hit me hardest was how the sisters' silence turned into strategy. Trina used to post family selfies or sisterhood hashtags. Now, not a word, not even a repost when the news broke. That silence said everything. Then you've got the fans online connecting dots that feel too close for comfort. One person wrote, So Tony thinks it's alright to help out the family even if it means they are stealing from you, allegedly charging 6 phone lines for 4 years. And that's coming from the same person who didn't think she should have to pay them to sing background. See, that's where it gets complicated because the Braxton brand was built on loyalty and image, not money. Yet every time they try to come together, something financial tears them apart. From Tamar's public mental health battles, to Tony's tax liens, to Tracy's passing, it's like every time the cameras stop rolling, the real story comes out. And even though Towanda's been quiet online since the arrest, court watchers noticed one major detail in her filings. She listed $277,000 in assets, but $547,000 in liabilities, including a $50,000 Tesla she was allegedly still driving on the show. One fan nailed it perfectly. Somebody with $150 in their account shouldn't be driving a $50,000 Tesla. Something's not right. Now with the feds reviewing everything from phone bills to property deeds, insiders allege Towanda might be facing up to 5 years in prison if proven guilty of falsifying financial disclosures. And while Tamar's camp hasn't officially commented, sometimes you gotta let the truth speak for itself. That alone made the internet lose it because if the truth ends up being that Tamar was the one who quietly gave evidence to the FBI, this could be one of the biggest family betrayals in reality TV history. And y'all, it doesn't end here, because there's still one more twist, one that ties Tony's silence, Towanda's husband, and some shady offshore transfers to what insiders are now calling a multi-year concealment scheme. When news broke that the FBI allegedly froze Towanda's business account, people thought that was the end of it. But nah, that was just the start. According to insiders, investigators allegedly found that a chunk of her skincare company's revenue had been routed through a consultancy firm under her new husband's name, the same man who now legally owns their Georgia home. That move, which she probably thought would protect their assets, allegedly backfired big time. Federal prosecutors are now looking at that transfer as an intent to conceal. And here's where it gets darker. People close to Toni Braxton's team allegedly claim that Toni quietly withdrew her name from all joint Braxton family ventures months ago. Meanwhile, Tamar hasn't said much publicly, but what made fans truly emotional was that old resurfaced pics of Towanda's bridal shower, the one with the Bridgerton theme. Neither Toni nor Tamar showed up.
Remember Toni said she was going to do the bridal shower? She's not doing the bridal shower. Somebody else is making sure everything is right for the bridal shower. I mean, I just thought that everybody would be, you know what I'm saying, happy and excited and wanting to be a part of it and want to be involved, but I'm not getting any of that, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
At the time, people thought it was just petty sister drama, but now it feels like they were already distancing themselves, because apparently that was right around when the IRS issued a back tax warning on Towanda's household accounts, which triggered the first wave of federal scrutiny. Some of y'all might remember that the only thing that brings them together is the cameras, and that couldn't feel truer right now. The Braxtons, once the definition of sisterhood goals, are now wrapped up in betrayal, federal fraud, and online chaos. Insiders now say Towanda's next court date could involve a plea deal if she cooperates and gives up information on others who benefited from the fraudulent filings. Translation? If Tamar's money or Tony's assets even touch those accounts, this thing could spiral into something even bigger. Towanda, on her end, is reportedly denying everything. But silence doesn't sound like strength right now. It sounds like a strategy. And that's when it hit me. This isn't just about money, it's about legacy. The Braxtons were once America's most admired R&B family. 6 sisters singing about love, faith, and unity. But now, the very thing that kept them shining, their shared fame, might end up being the same thing that destroys them. And honestly, y'all, the craziest part is, this might not even be over. According to our inside sources, the FBI's case file includes references to multiple family-linked financial accounts still under review. Meaning, Tamar and Tony might be next in line for questioning if they're listed anywhere in those financial documents. If that happens, the Braxton name might never recover. It's the kind of downfall